And that will move us on to Sleeper Spotlight.
Sleeper Spotlight. Let's do it.
A pretty popular segment.
Oh, yeah.
We show drummers that the community might be sleeping on, and we get some thoughts, impressions, constructive criticism, if any.
Oh, we should clarify, too, just for everybody watching this time around. One, people nominate Sleeper Spotlight. Somebody was just like, hey, do Tony Royster. It's like, okay, let's remind everybody of the premise of Sleeper Spotlight, and that you have to be slept on in some capacity. So for us, as we discussed, that's under 10,000 Instagram followers.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. It's in that ballpark. So for anybody nominating someone, try to keep in mind, if they have a 6-figure following, like we're not going to feature them on here, not because they're not sick players. You guys have nominated drummers that I actually love, and I watch their content.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is sort of reserved for people who we want to send more attention to, right? Who are getting slept on. So that, and then the other element, of course, is you can't nominate yourself. Come on now, that's not how this works. That would be abused so quickly. So nominate a friend, nominate a buddy. Shit, text your girlfriend and say, hey, you nominate me. If that's the route you want to go, give it a swing. Who knows what'll happen, but yeah, I just noticed so many people nominating like famous drummers for Sleeper Spotlight. Like, come on, man, I'm not doing Aaron Spears. What are you talking about?
We'll talk about Aaron Spears, but
I'm talking about him.
He's not getting slept on. So we'll start off with Peter Marinland.
Okay.
That's his Instagram handle.
Okay.
And we'll, just start out with Peter 1.
Okay, let's pull it up. All right, here we go. Peter. I like his technique and that elaborate audio setup. What hi-hats are those? Peisty? What's the triangle? Istanbuls. Super clean. The sounds are good too. His left-hand diddle is very clean. That's one of those details in a groove like that that is a huge make or break, right? I mean, it could take 5 years to clean up that the little those 2 30-second diddles in there. Yeah, you can hear that's something he's worked out. For anybody watching that hears a groove like that, there are subtleties in that kind of groove that are really, really important to spend time on. So I can hear a good amount of experience in his playing for sure. Kick drum sounded good. I'm getting some like boominess through my headphones on it. And I would imagine this guy's into some audio, man. That is quite a rack behind him. That's intense. Really good, man. That was super, super clean. Very studio player. Let's go to the next one from Peter. Snare way more cranked in this one. That's a ringy snare, but I like it. Man, really, really clean. Definitely studio vibes all day in terms of how he's playing and what he's playing. In that it's not a lot of variation, which you wouldn't want in a studio recording for sure. I'm going to watch that one more time because I think I talked over one cool little deal he played. Man, so his left hand buzzing is weird.
I'll explain that in a second.
Yeah, what exactly was that? That was some sort of delayed effect? What was it?
So if you look closely on the rim of the snare, there's a solenoid. And what that is a Czech company called Baslin Instruments.
Okay.
Makes basically a modular synthesizer.
Okay.
That attaches to a drum trigger. And what that does is it's triggered every time he hits the kick drum to randomly disperse quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, 16th triplets on that little solenoid that's on the snare.
Weird.
In a random way. So that's why you don't hear any consistency with the sound. But That's not him hitting the drum.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I heard almost like an external sort of buzziness come in. Really interesting. I'd love to mess around with that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that module that he's playing with has been discontinued. I tried to look up the price of it and see
Gotcha.
if I could get it because it looks super, super cool.
Yeah.
But the guy's into a lot of modular synthesis
Okay.
separate from drumming, which is just a whole other universe that we have no idea about.
That explains the audio gear.
Yeah. And super audio nerd, but really cool ideas that hybrid level of drumming that kind of takes it one step further.
Sure. Well, yeah, I loved his playing, man. Very, very clean, very articulate. I like the snare tone of that last video, too. I like that, like, controlled ringing, right? It was really, really good. Hell yeah, man. That was an awesome one. So is that all we got from Peter?
Yeah, that's it from Peter.
All right.
We'll move on to Eric Drum Wallet.
Okay, Drum Wallet. I like where your head's at, brother.
You can play it in any order you want.
Okay. Our first one from Eric. Funked out. Super clean, man. Yeah, a lot of intentional dynamics. Super clean. I loved that. Awesome. First of all, he's using the same interface that we are right now, isn't he? Claret 2 channel.
It looks like it.
It looks like it. Yeah. Hey, man. Goes to she. Well, who knows? It seems like he's got more than 2 mics that I can see. Who knows? But it seems like a pretty simplistic audio setup, and the kit sounds good, like dialed in, fat funk kit for sure. I thought the whole kit sounded awesome. See, he's got the big fat snare drum on there, dry, fat sort of sound. Man, really, really clean. There's something about people that spend enough time in the funk universe that get this like very tasteful approach. He had a couple of really complex fills. One that was like sort of Herta based towards the end. We're gonna watch this again, but yeah, it's just very, very tasteful, man. Something about people that put in the time listening to a lot of funk stuff, like their intuitions of which fill would fit here and which hi-hats to bark are just like, ugh, that was the right one, you know? Nate Smithish. This is a fill. Not that one. There's another Herta one in here. Yeah, right? Like that was a... Right? Just a funk song waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
Super tasteful. Man, that was awesome. This is Eric. Let's do one more from him. Clean, man. That's a beautiful snare, too. Yeah, and that is our same interface for sure. That's definitely that 2 channel. That sounds killer, man. Yeah, really cool. You know what this groove reminds me of is Mark Lettieri, guitar player for, well, a bunch of people, but Snarky Puppy. He put out an album called Deep, which was themed around a baritone guitar. Super, super deep, deep guitar sound, like a bass with 6 strings, basically. And in there's a song called, I want to say, Ridge something. Anyway, if anybody knows that song, I won't play it because of copyright, but if anybody knows that song, this groove sounds a lot like the beginning of that song. And it's weird because I don't really know what genre to put it in. I guess like hybridized funk would be the correct way to like categorize a groove like that, but really, really cool. And I love when you can hear in a drummer's playing like this, you can like hear their influence, that it's all sort of that funk style, which is just a super fun, enjoyable style of drums. If there's one genre I could revisit and play a lot more of, learn a lot more from, it would be funk like this. Some of these deeply syncopated, like it's fundamentally a rock groove, but there's so much play happening all over the place. So this is really clean, intentional, good studio stuff. You shred, Eric. I really like this, man.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Darren King.
Yeah.
Drummer from Mute Math.
Yeah, he's definitely that funk rock hybrid, Darren King is, that's for sure. A lot of the, what's the way to say it? Just like offbeat hi-hat barks that are in sort of a rock context, but it adds that like funky dance, I don't know, unexpected jab element that is a lot of funk playing. So that was really cool, man. He's a sick player.
Cool. And then next up we have Genghis Khan Way. Go ahead and click on the live.
The
clip.
live one. Okay. With the blue lights?
Yeah.
Okay. Genghis Khan. Here we go. Intense light setup. Powerful player. Man, really, really good. I love when somebody is a live player and it's obvious because they play with a good amount of power and just punch to their playing. He was playing through the kit. That was so audible, even with an incredibly heavy mix, of the guitar arpeggiation thing happening in the background and, a full band mix happening here. There is something about the way you play drums live when you really dig in and just make that kit cut through everything. It just makes for a good live drummer. So in this case, I hear just a really natural live player, being heavy-handed, playing through the cymbals, through the toms. Everything was really audible and clear, and some pretty advanced concepts too. I saw some classic like right left kick. Like I saw some classic big enders, but also you had some bludges in there and some wild phrasing ideas that lined up with those specific hits of the band. So I thought that was really clean. Good example of just like a solid live drummer. Good volume and good projection. Let's do one more from him. T17? Play that kit. You can hear that power even on electric kit, right? Heavy-handed guy. Great dynamics. Really good surprisingly good dynamics for such a heavy-handed player. It is interesting to see him naturally have a higher volume, but then quite easily just sort of like calm everything down, right? That's cool. That's a sign of a veteran for sure, that he's got this natural dynamic, but he's not stuck there. He can easily bring everything back down. I also saw some really cool, like, what's the best way to say it? What seemed like sweeping, which is you have diddles, so like right, or left, but inside of the diddle you orchestrate. So if you have right, with nothing in between them, that skips between different drums. So some sort of sweeping, but then also like sweeping with like linear kicks jammed in between. So like right kick, left kick, like moving. A couple of really advanced phrasing ideas in there. And his kick and hand singles were very clean. Bum, 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 bum. Just hand, foot. Definitely some advanced phrases in there, man. So for sure, it's a fun drummer to watch. And I like how, I've said this before in other podcasts, but like I love the the free-form talking element. I love when people can just sit down and begin talking on the drum set when it's not exclusively rehearsed parts, though we need those drummers too. I'm just a big fan when somebody sits down and talks, because I feel like I heard this guy's voice in this clip, right? This is what you have to say. So that was really cool. And I like the contrast of full-blown rock kit live playing and then sort of at home in the practice room with, I think it's a TD-17, an electronic kit. So yeah, man, that was really, really cool. Killer drummer. Great ideas. Thanks for watching this clip from the Orlando Drummer Podcast. If you're looking for more content like this, whether it be in-depth masterclasses, interviews with pro drummers, extensive lesson packs, and other courses, you can find all of that at the link in the description. Just click on orlandodrummer.com and start a free 7-day trial to my online drum school. I promise you will find something you like. And if you don't want to stick around, no harm done. Check it out. Link in description.